win this one, they are not going to playoffs.
It is absolutely all or nothing for Sinners right now. They don't have any other option than to win, and not only to win a little bit, but to win a lot of it.
They kind of have to stomp, right?
They have to stomp because you. So if multiple teams have the same amount of wins, it depends on their map wins, how many individual map wins they have.
So basically, their maps won versus their maps lost, right?
Yes, and Sinners have a lot of map losses. So right now they need to win. Almost like full sweeps. Yeah.
Well, Gyroscope,
immediate ban. Yeah.
As you predicted, Gyroscope banned by Sinners. Arrow Pipes banned by Alliance. And now Alliance will choose the first map. They pick Parkour.
Yes, as you said, Mutta is a menace on that one. So
is Reps gonna... Oh, slowdown and Reps might be the answer. They just want pace. They just want consistent tracks. Some of the easier tracks to drive. Agility dash. Interesting choice.
I mean, that's a risky finish there on agility. Yeah, so Reps comes in, you are absolutely right. Back and forth coming in from Alliance, and then finally, what got voted in
We got
there?
Flip of Faith from Sinners, the last choice, and Slippy slides the random. So it looks like here, like Alliance are going for really tough maps, trying to make Sinners fail. They literally want to pick the hardest identities, the obstacle parts, and watch them respawn and crash on them.
And that's the thing, right? Because so Sinners cannot afford to lose a map.
Like even the map.
No, they have to sweep this. Okay, so any map where Alliance is like, we can just edge them out. We don't even have to win the match. We just have to win the maps.
Was that? Oh no, that was okay. I thought that was an ad for console release for a second. It was just naming the dates for Steam release, which, if you didn't know, Trackmania is now out on Steam. You can get it on your main platform and start driving. And also maybe leave a positive review if you enjoy it. Yeah,
there's been some mixed reviews there on Steam for some maybe a little bit of confusion regarding that subscription model. So if you know something about the game, you can get it on Steam. Or if you don't have the game yet, you can now find it on Steam. Go ahead and give it a go. It's free to play or free to try out at least.
The only thing I would say is just don't measure yourself against these players, because it can look very easy, Trackmania, and you can think like, wow, this player is terrible. He crashed that turn. I could have done that better. It's harder than you think, so just
these maps
level your expectations.
These maps are so difficult. Like, you see pros play them, and you're like, I could do that. No, you can't. I'm sorry. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 hours in, maybe, but not before then.
We'll see how the pros do it and enjoy watching them dance through these maps with ease. On board with Sinners here in round one. It is a must-win series and possibly also a must-sweep series with 4-0. They're playing on Alliance's map choice. And Parkour here, if you have not seen this track before, it has a very tricky ending. One of the endings that has the most fails out of any of the maps in the league. And it's coming up after this bobsleigh turn. It's a series of jumps. That's why the map is called Parkour. Going into it, Sinners with Kappa in the lead, Tween 1 second behind. Let's see how they handle it. Here's the identity.
Yes, we see them jump from one platform to another platform. Kappa and Mutta are up in the lead. They're fighting to see who can get that first place. Kappa needs to maintain this lead to see if he can get that draw, but Mutta makes that overtake to first place. Soldier right behind him, but Tween gets the overtake on Mutta. Mutta didn't have the best ending, but it is a map or a round victory for Alliance.
First and third gives them 2 points, and Sinners gets 1. But yeah, as you can see, already this first round, 2 mistakes, and the reason is this sequence of jumps. If you just miss one, it's going to snowball into a mistake, possibly 2, 3 jumps later. You have to be perfectly on the line here to survive Parkour.
Yeah, I mean, it is super difficult. As you said, they're playing with pixels. I remember you saying that last time, and it is such just a specific setup you need. Just any minor mistake, and then your car is not going to be able to have the next jump.
And talking about Alliance here, last week when they played this, Mutta went for the flip in the ending like 3 times, and I think it's something he's gotten a lot more comfortable with. That's also why they're first picking it here. And any attempt to really push Mutta on this map will make him go for that flip ending, which saves 0.3 of a second. It's a strategy. He might pull it out, but when he doesn't need to, he's not going to use it.
No, Mutta is really good at controlling whether or not he needs to go full safe or go full risk. And we will see that in multiple different maps here, especially also here where he can go for that barrel roll as we talked about. But right now, Mudder and Tween are in first and second place fighting to see if they can get that first place. Tween is losing a little bit too much speed. Soldier's looking to see if he can get this ace, and Mudder is extending his lead now. Soldier's looking hungry. He wants to eat this ace right now, but he's making a mistake, and that gives the opportunity for Sinners to equalize and get the draw.
Sinners here just going to secure a draw. A great time for Mudder as well. 102 mid is a strong winning pace here without that flip strategy. So that is great to see from him. And yeah, Sinners able to secure a draw despite Kappa's early crash.
I mean, it's so far so good for Sinners. I mean, they're only 1 point behind. They haven't shown any major signs of weakness. Mudder has shown that he's definitely on a different pace, I think. Tween is trying to keep up as much as he can, but we need to see Sinners execute at least the start, the first part of the map in a way where they can maybe save the ending a little bit.
Yeah, they've had 2 crashes in the first 2 rounds. Let's see if they can get a clean one on the third. Onto the ice, we see some different setups here. Sinners generally going a little bit more for an inside line, but that gives them a weaker approach into this, and that's where Alliance will come back. So some optimizations the players have figured out there. Soldier with the quarter pipe jump, catching up to Tween before the bobsleigh, and now it's a question of how late do you want to enter it. The later the better. And we see Kappa getting slightly more speed than Soldier, but this Jnic is a spot where Mudder, I think, is looking at that flip and might just send it all in if he can to try to catch up, but could also be too far away. Sinners here with a great opportunity for an ace. Only Soldier to deny them that possibility. Tween going wide, though, crashing the pillar, and suddenly this might be a win for Alliance. And it will indeed. 2 more points added to the tally.
Yeah, I mean, Alliance, they are fine with going slow and steady, increasing their lead a little bit at a time. And I think Mudder also realized that he was too far behind to overtake with the barrel roll. So he knew, I will try to take the safe route and be the anchor in case anybody from the other team fails.
That is a good strategy there. Of course, he went for the flip. He could have just lost their advantage. Now they're 2 points up. They're halfway to 10. The points you need to win the map. And they're looking really great here on their own map choice. The only thing that they don't want to happen right now is an ace against them. But as long as one of them makes the identity, it looks like they have the pace to deny Sinners. So Sinners, they're going to need to pull out some much quicker rounds here to fend them off. Soldier with mistake makes this a possibility, but we'll see what Mudder can do with it.
Yeah, but right now we have Tween in the lead, and actually Capo right behind Capo with it. Oh, and Tween as well. Mudder getting the speed ahead of both of the Sinners players, and Soldier also overtaking. Kappa must have made even more of a mistake. And now Soldier, he is trying to see if he can get that ace for his team, extend the lead by even more. But Soldier, no, gets the slowdown. Tween gets back. Soldier with a huge mistake. And this could equalize it for Sinners, but we have a mistake from Tween as well. And now we're going to see if Soldier or Tween are going to get the points. What is happening here? And another mistake. Everybody. Okay.
Oh no, another respawn. And it looks like Soldier will be there to secure another win for Alliance. And with that, they have a 3-point lead, effectively building up what they could get from an ace. And they're at 7 points as well.
I mean, see, that's the thing about freestyle. It is so easy to make mistakes, and we're looking at 15-second mistakes, multiple respawns in a row, and it's because if you don't have the setup, if you get an awkward angle into the jumps, then you're just not going to get the subsequent jumps, and they have to full respawn, and it's a whole mess.
It is a whole mess, indeed. Next round, though. Now they're on track point. They could close this out with an ace. And Sinners, we mentioned they might just need to clean sweep the entire match here to have a chance at playoffs. So, desperation calls already on the first map. Possibly. We'll see what Tween and Kappa can do. Across the quarter pipe, a place that we rarely ever see players fail. Very consistent, but then the ending here, completely the opposite. One of the most tricky parts. And now we have the closest round yet. Kappa on the inside line. We see Mudder going for more speed. Hitting that wall, though. Leaving Sinners with an opportunity as Tween has also hit the wall. So, position's going to remain in Alliance's favor. Mudder clipping barely. Is that going to affect him in any way on the next jumps? Looks like he still makes it. But Tween is getting closer. Tween might have more speed, secure a draw. Looks like he can't, though. And Alliance are now up to 9 points, 1 away from taking map 1.
Yeah, we need to see multiple aces coming in from Sinners if they want to get back right now. So hopefully they can do that. But If they don't, that could spell disaster. They are 16 points behind. I mean, what they need to do is win 4 now and then win 4 next time, and Alliance would have to lose 4 now and lose 4 next one if they want any chance of getting back in, and I don't know, it's gonna be difficult.
But looking at this from Alliance's point of view, a big win here would do so well for them, as they are currently tied for 5th place in the league, but due to their map win-loss ratio, they're actually in 6th place. They're behind Into the Breach. So if they get a big win, a 4-0 sweep, and Into the Breach lose their match against Solary, suddenly Alliance looking very good for making top 6. So important game for them to not drop any maps against Sinners.
I mean, absolutely true. Alliance are also fighting to stay in this top 6. We can't just say it's only Sinners fight. It is also Alliance. This is a super important fight for both the teams. Alliance will not be able to make it into the top.
Oh, double mistake, but Mutta is there to secure first, and that's all for this first map, as they get at least 1 point secured. Alliance take Parkour.
So good so far for Alliance. Once again, they are also looking to stay in the top 6. They need to get some, like, maybe 3-4 map wins before Sinners get a couple. Hopefully they can do that. We'll just have to see.
And looking at the replays here, Parkour will forever be Parkour. In week 1, it was chaos. In week 6, Jnic, it is still chaos with mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. And that's just the way the map goes. And this is exactly what Alliance wanted. They wanted to pull Sinners onto something where they can try to be more consistent and get like clean finishes. That's what they've been practicing. But now, as we look forward to the next map, we're going on to something Sinners, I think, have refined, because this is raw pace, and you will not see a lot of crashes here on Slowdown.
No, Slowdown is a pretty consistent map throughout the entirety of it, where, as you said, pace is what makes you, like, if you can get 0.5 ahead of your opponents, or even 0.3 ahead of your opponents, the wiggle room you have in the ending is tremendous and makes you able to, well, not safe it 100%, but at least get a lot easier through it.
Yeah, it's very interesting how 1 second of a lead can be so different depending on the map. On Slowdown, it is like an eternity to be ahead, because there's no big obstacles in your way in the ending. But we'll see how much they're able to gain or lose in the start. As you can see, very close field right now. There's a big bobsleigh turn here, and the players are trying to get as much speed as possible in the entrance. Looks like Tween gets a little bit of a slower line, gets passed by Mutta. Mutta with a very inside drift as well to join Soldier near that top 2. But into the ending, anyone's round before the identity.
Yeah, so we have one more right-handed drift, and then we enter the identity where all the players have to do is not fly. So they're going to slow down and drive in the downhills without having too many mistakes here. And it does look like Tween, unfortunately, gets that airtime that they're not looking for, and that's going to result in a round draw, but still very good pace coming in from both teams.
Yeah, and a great time from Couple there. 56.6 has become sort of the golden standard on Slowdown. The world record is another 10th ahead of that, 56.4. But if you can drive 56.6 in a live round, that's an amazing time. And Soldier also upping his pace here, 56.7 from him, great to see. That's going to be enough to get good points for his team in many rounds in this map.
Yeah, but right now, once again, we see
Soldier with a mistake.
We see Alliance in the lead. Soldier with a mistake. Now it's up to Mutta to see if he can creep up to that first place to at least give it a round draw. And he's pushing. He's also doing a little bit of a wiggle there, actually. I think that's on purpose to see if he can get... Oh, it hits the sign. And now Sinners are all but ready to get that first ace. And they're going to be really happy about that.
Yeah, they see it here. And this is what we talked about. 1 second on the splits here means you can just go safe. You don't need to risk anything for airtime. And you can just take nice, calm, collected lines up and down the hills and safely secure 3 points for your team. But look at the times. They saved that ending, and they still whipped out 0.69 and 0.70. They can go faster.
Oh yeah, they absolutely can go faster with a more risky ending. And also, it was towards the ending, but it wasn't quite the identity that the Alliance players failed on. So they might have saved even further earlier in the map.
They definitely did, and now we'll see, now that they have a lead, now that they're not pressured to make mistakes, what is Sinners' playstyle going to look like? They're going to start out strong once again, the fastest 2 starts, building up speed before this penalty grass section, setting up wide on the dirt, And then we'll see what Mutta does, because he did a small wiggle here at the ending, getting a little bit more speed out of the bobsleigh and perhaps setting up better for this drift. You can see that caught up to Tween, and still, though, there's about a 2/10 gap to Kappa, who's driving great pace up front. He is hungry today for a new personal record on this track. Let's see if he can hold it in the ending, and he will have an amazing low 56 here. Mutta struggling on the identity, going wide, and this could be another ace, Jnic. They are far here. Alliance too far away. Sinners with back-to-back aces and 0.5 from Kappa.
0.5. That is very close to his personal best. That's like 800s away. His current personal best is a 56.508. So very close. He's driving PB pace on regular rounds. That is so difficult.
That is really difficult indeed. And I think he has the second fastest record in the league right now on this map. So showing up strong this week too on this map. Ooh, Soldier barely able to avoid the wall there. Going for an early drift. That's going to give him less speed here before the penalty grass. And you can see the others catching up a little bit. But still a strong start here for the Belgian player before that bobsleigh. Look at the speed though. Able to get way more than Kappa into that approach and take first place so far in the round. This is where they've struggled a bit. Near the ending, been some mistakes from Alliance. Some missed slides. Tween also falling quite far behind here, but Kappa, we'll see. He is one of the champions on this map. Can he do it again here? Would have to pass both Alliance players to secure a draw. Gets one there with the airtime from Mutta, and now it's a 1 versus 1 against Soldier. Kappa trying, but getting less speed in that uphill. Soldier holding strong, at least securing first, and a draw at that.
But that draw is not something that Sinners are too mad at. I think they're just happy to get some points right now, because 8-2 is a very strong position to put yourself in. They pretty much can draw themselves to victory now as well.
I mean, that was almost the best case scenario. They went from looking like getting aced into the identity to securing a draw. Yeah. That's such a big difference. So 8-2, one normal victory here would do it for Sinners. They take the map, but they could also ace and just do it in style. We'll see what they're able to get here in potentially the last round of slowdown.
But it's really nice to see Sinners' pace here. It looks really strong. Kappa is consistently ahead, and Tween has beat his PB multiple times right here today. So we see them both. Yeah, I see Mutta's line there.
There is some trickery in that exit.
Mutta is really good at ice as well. So definitely showcasing it here with his knowledge of ice slides and ice wiggles. But Kappa is still in the lead by 0.1, and Mutta and Soldier need to push it quite a lot.
Oh, airtime. That's an ace looking to happen. So we see Mutta going wide, but getting more speed here. Catching up past Tween. Tween looking to deny, but he's too far. And hold up. We might not be done here yet. Alliance closing the gap.
That's an important ace. And, Alliance needs to do that a couple of times, I think. But with that being said, they've showcased that they're now able to, but they did have to capitalize and rely on Kappa making a huge mistake. So I don't think they can rely on that happening too many more times.
They cannot, indeed. They have no room for error, essentially. Maybe a draw they can cost, but that's about it. So Kappa and Tween so close to securing this map, getting their first one under their belt, and we'll see if they can do that. Bobsleigh again, Mutta here with the advantage. They're getting a little bit of a bad entry though, but able to get a little bit more speed. The reason that wiggle is faster is because of the new ice physics, where you're able to steer a little bit left and right in certain spots to gain more speed, get more grip essentially on that surface. Very close here in this round, except for Kappa dominating once again, and now avoiding the airtime, holding first place. Tween is up there, only needs a third place to secure this round for their team, and they are going to take slow down with an ace. 56.5 again from Kappa.
Strong showing there from Kappa. Absolute domination here on the second map. And now we're gonna go ahead and watch some of these replays once again.
Yeah, Sinners, they did lose map 1, but that was Alliance's strongest card in the deck, and now I think Sinners have shown their best. Looking at this ace that started their winning run here, hand in hand, after Alliance made some mistakes, Sinners takes 3 important points, and then they did it again.
Yeah, they got another ace and, you know, pretty much cementing their lead. So definitely a great showing here by Team Sinners. Love to see it, but the next map is not going to be easy for any of the teams, because we're going to be looking at Agility Dash.
This is the longest track in the map pack. It takes 1 minute and 28 seconds if you drive it well. And I do wonder if, you know, because we have the world records, they are one thing, but I wonder if the players offline have stronger records we don't know about.
They absolutely
maybe
do.
even in the 127s.
See, that's the thing. We don't know that. But also, if you're driving this offline, it's obviously not in rounds format, which means that the players, they can reset on any single little tiny mistake that they make or that they dislike about their run. They can do that here in live rounds. So you would definitely assume that these players have better times offline than they do in rounds, but still, these round times are also incredibly difficult to drive.
Looking at personal bests here, the reason Alliance picked this is because Tween and Kappa's personal records on this are some of the slowest of the entire field at 128.9, whereas Mudda has driven 128.5, Soldier 128.7. That might be the reason, and it might also just be comfort for them, as this is one map we've seen Alliance do really well on. Against all other teams, Mudda having to cancel his speed slide to not go into the wall there, but still somehow faster than Tween and catching up a little bit to first place. As we see Soldier has dropped down into 4th. Kappa keeping that 3rd place for Sinners.
Yeah, with these speed slides, it is important that you do them, you execute them well, because if you overdrift too much, you will lose speed instead of gaining it. So definitely have to do it well here. As we head into the last section here of the map, we're jumping into the identity, and right now Sinners are looking to actually not lose any points, looking for a round drop, but they want to overtake Mudda. Can Kappa overtake Mudda? Tween with a lot of speed as well, catching up to both the players, but Mudda is steadily holding his lead, but Kappa is attacking. Can he overtake? Will he do it? Yes, he will, by 200ths of a second.
Incredible snipe there from Kappa, and Tween making a miraculous save at the same time. Looked like he missed the approach, but able to just weave past the corner barely, and Sinners take round 1.
They do. That's great for Sinners. Not even their map pick. Showcasing that they have the pace to actually stay on this map. And now Alliance needs to push it as well.
And the thing is, Alliance might be faster, but if Sinners can do 129.2 every round, they can definitely take this map. As I don't know if you could tell by that last part, the agility dash, the blue plastic, that thing is so difficult to survive at the speeds they're driving. So really, anything can happen, but Sinners looking very strong so far. I think they might have surprised them.
I think they might have surprised them. They surprised me with that time as well. They're driving faster than their PBs, once again showcasing that they do have the pace and have the practice to do better than they've done before.
Ooh, okay, Soldier getting a good speed slide for the trajectory he had, but Kappa still fast. You can hear him approaching the frame. Still a little bit behind though. Tween again with a good start, keeping Mudda at bay, about 0.10 of a lead. As we go into the technical part now, still carries that same gap. Here's where we saw Soldier jump out, getting a bit more airtime. He's going to save that now at the cost of a little bit of speed. You can see Kappa approaching and overtaking. Very close round before the second time around on the identity. Tween doing a jump, holding first place. What's going to happen? Kappa clipping the corner on the entrance. He's going to be out of it. It is now all on Tween to deny the Alliance players. He needs to not get swept here, but he will be passed by Mudda, and they concede one normal loss.
Well, that equalizes the score. It's going to be 3-3, right? So Mudda is driving really fast here, a 128.6. That is a great time, only a little bit behind his PB by 0.1 about.
And also a new personal best there for Tween. As we mentioned, had a 128.9. So great to see him jump up to 0.7. They can definitely turn it up a notch here from what they've done before. And still, a draw. But here's what we talked about on Agility Dash. If you make a mistake this early, you are out of the round for about a minute, 1 second behind, and you basically just have to hope your teammate can hold this. But all the players in the field are now present of this. They know what's happened, and we'll see what Sinners do. They might send one of the players on a hunt to pass Mudda and get a regular victory, whereas the other one plays this anchor support role and just tries to get the finish.
And I think that's a great tactic to do right now, because the pressure that Mudda has on him to maintain that lead is huge, and he knows this. So he's going to be pushing as hard as he can.
The checkpoint is the fastest one we've seen in the league. 0.2 is crazy from Mudda. And you said he was driving fast, but this is fast. Look at this gap he's building. Half a second ahead. Mudda's on world record pace. I'm going to call it.
You're going to call it?
He's on world record pace.
Let's see if he gets the
identity right.
Well, he only has a couple of more jumps. Does get that low airtime though, but He is getting approached here by Tween. Tween is looking to see if he can overtake. Also gets a lot of speed, but doesn't get the ending.
Oh, they both respawned.
They both respawn.
It's
and
an
now
ace looking like for a lot.
Oh, Mudda's almost falling out. He does make it, but that was a little bit too close.
Not a world record, but an ace. I'm not sure what's better, but they'll take that. Sinners are leading strong here. They'll take any extra points they can get. The checkpoints in the middle there from Mudda, though, were crazy.
I mean, that's, you know, Mudda does have great pace on maps like this that are super high speed, right? Mudda is known as one of the best full speed players to have played the game, and he excels at maps that have this high speed, high momentum going through the entire thing.
And a fun fact about Mudda is before becoming the best full speed player, he was really into something called fun speed, which is different from full speed, because it's not, you can't drive every turn full speed, but it's all about preserving as much speed as possible. A small release, a small drift here and there. He was so good at it back in like 2013, 2014. That's where he started. And this map kind of is like that.
Yeah.
Like you have one odd drift here and there and then some speed slides. And that's why he shines here. So great stuff from Mudda. Unfortunate that he didn't beat it last time. And now he's really fighting to get his car through that corner alive. Makes it through somewhat unscathed, but it's really all on Soldier here to try to get a win.
Yeah, it is awesome. Oh, there comes Tween in there from the back right side. So Mudda is not all alone here. He is also fighting for that third or fourth place. But in the lead, we have Kappa and Soldier fighting for first and second. Sinners, they need to get some of these points now. Kappa needs to maintain this lead. And Soldier is trying to push, but I do think Kappa is going to try to push as well. Like, he's gonna risk the ending, but he's quite far ahead, about 0.4, so he could take it a little bit slow. I don't know if he's going to, though. Tween will push to see if he can get the ace as well. Mudda coming in from behind. Will Mudda be able to overtake? Barely. Tween maintains that third place, and that's gonna be a round win for Sinners, but still looking dangerous with that 7 points here for Alliance.
They've reached the track point threshold. Now an ace for them would give them the map, and Sinners have to be careful of that happening. So we'll see what they can do. 129.05 from Kappa as well. Good showing there. Tween almost two sideways. Not the biggest mistake in the world, but definitely enough to shake you in your boots a little bit, put you on high alert, as you know you are potentially off your ideal line here.
Yeah, shaking in their boots is also what they're doing, because Alliance, if they get this map win, Sinners, every single map win Alliance gets is less and less chance for Sinners to get into the top 6 here. So Sinners are trying their very hardest to deny that from happening right now, but Soldier and Mudda are in first and third. Mudda going for a really risky line. I don't quite know if that was on purpose. He might have lost a little bit of speed, allowing Tween to overtake.
But I think even if they make playoffs or not, at this point, it's about honor, all right? We're not going to get swept 7-0 in this league. We are going to get some wins. We're going to beat some teams, some top contenders, and show what we are made of. Whether it's playoffs or not, Sinners, they're not going to go down without a fight. They're not going to give up because they don't have a chance at playoffs. They're going to fight it till the bitter end, and Soldier right now is going to get to experience some of that pressure up in first place as Tween and Kappa both approach the identity together with him. No mistakes. It can happen for Soldier. They're going to be right there. He goes so close to the corners. Wide approach there, but able to reduce airtime with it. And he's going to be able to fend them off with a 129.05. But they were right there if anything happened. And Tween, Kappa rather, getting passed by Mudda makes it a 9-point total now for Alliance. 1 point away.
Yeah, 6-9. It's looking nice for Alliance here. They just need a round draw, and they will get that victory.
Draw or a loss even. Sinners, it's an ace at first, and then we'll see what they can do afterwards, but that's what they have to get here.
So as we go into this potential final round, we actually see Sinners here in the top 2 positions. Kappa going a little bit inside here, might lose a little bit of speed going into the jump. Nothing too tremendous. Tween landing 2 sideways, and we get a huge slowdown. That acceleration penalty landing on the side of your car is tremendous, and that's gonna send Tween half a second back.
Oh, more than that as well, as he's gonna lose further time in the next part, but able to stay at least somewhat within range. But look at this lead Alliance are building. Kappa missing the speed slide angle, and they have a big opportunity here to close this out. It would take 2 big crashes for Alliance at this point. They have it in their own hands.
They do. They just need to maintain this half a second lead. One of them, as long as they're both not in the bottom 4 or bottom 3, they will get 1 point. So they just need one player to get through the identity unscathed. If it's Mudder or Soldier, it does not matter. They're both just going to try to see if they can get through this unscathed, not lose 0.7. Mudder has made a mistake. Soldier is in the lead still, though. Mudder is not on 4th yet, so not too dangerous here. Soldier is going through it cleanly, and that's going to be a map victory for Alliance.
They take their second choice here, just like the first one, quite convincingly. Sinners had a bigger chance here, I would say, than Parkour, but Alliance still looking clean with it. Agility Dash goes to them.
So here now, we will once again be looking at some of these highlights of the match where we see Kappa will snipe round 1 by 0.02 of a second. What a great showcase here by Kappa.
This was such a good ending from him. Again, we were on the perspective of Tween, but you can see he gets more speed there in that final corner, able to just inch it out to the finish.
And then we have Mudder's massive lead here in round 3 in the middle of the match here on world record pace.
Yeah, the checkpoint that caught me off was the one after the loop, where he gets a 0.2. And 0.3 is considered like crazy fast. 0.2, 0.29. And then he kept going. It was crazy. He could have easily had it there if he wasn't under such match pressure, I think.
But now we're going to jump into reps, which is where you...
So I want you guys to pay attention to, well, Mudda is really fast here, but Tween as well from Sinners is going to be the player to try to match him. Kappa is consistent on this, but Tween really has that killer pace that might be able to defeat Mudda. At least that's the gambit that Sinners are throwing with this map.
I mean, I think that they're pace-based. Like, Sinners are definitely a pace-based team. And in the ending, Reps is a difficult identity. By no means is it a super safe identity. It's not an easy one, but it does, you know, favor a more pace-based team here. And we also see all the players actually going wide here on that dirt slide. And they do this because it's about 0.1 maybe. And oh, we see a mistake here coming in from Alliance. And now Sinners are looking to get that ace on the first round.
A rare mistake from Mudda on Reps, who's usually just clean here every single round, and with Soldier being quite far behind the Sinners, this could be an ace to start them off on the map. Their checkpoints are amazing. They're on pace for a mid 106 in the very first round. We'll see the ending though. Nothing's decided yet. You still have to survive 3 jumps and 2 beams with macro level precision, micro rather, as we go into the last one. Kappa off the side between 106.66, and where will Kappa end up? Unfortunately, in last.
So 106.6 is still a very reasonable time, within 0.1 of his PB, but we do have Mudda on this map who has the best PB of this match right now with a 106.43. So Mudda does seem to have the best pace if he's on his personal best round, but you know, it's also about consistency here. It's about consistent pace more than PB pace.
Yeah, it is indeed, and we are curious to see how Soldier's going to do here as well, as this map has been one of the more polarizing for the Alliance squad, with Mudda driving these world record times and Soldier not driving badly by any means, but not matching that level. And we'll see if he can get up to pace with his teammate here. Right now, he's doing just that. First and second for Soldier and Mudda before the mid to ending part. Want to get more speed here into the dirt, and then different lines coming through. Mudda goes to the loop early, so he can go diagonally through it. Slides less and gets more exit speed out of that looping. Just hundredths of a second of a difference, but that's what he prefers. And as we head into the identity, all 4 players are here within 1/10 of a second. Onto the first beam. Mudda and Soldier both have failed, and Sinners clean. They will take this round convincingly. 3 points and an ace to them.
That's great for Team Sinners here. 4-1 as of right now, and it does look like they have the pace to drive 106 mids consistently, which would be probably put them in top 3 every single round.
Definitely. It's so hard to match that. When in the first weeks, right, the winning times were like 107 low, and we were like, oh my god, that's really fast. 106.7.6 has been the new standard here, and Sinners are looking like they can do it every time. They've not made a single mistake here before the identity.
Yep, and that's great because it means that you can slow down just a little bit more if you choose to spend 0.1 seconds just drifting to get a more safe line into the final beam of the rep's identity. You have, like, I want to say an 80% more chance of not flying out. But the only way you can do that if you're already like 0.2 ahead. You need to save that at that point. But right now, Sinners once again top 2 positions.
They are, and Mudda's down in 4th. The player we thought would carry the pace for Alliance here, and if he can't do that, Soldier is going to have to set a new personal record to match the Sinners players, as his personal record is 0.8. That's not the level anymore. He has to try to get past them, or they're able to get aced back-to-back here. Mudda joining him before the identity. Maybe Mudda can still get their double mistake from Sinners. The roles are reversed, and the ace goes to Alliance.
That is so unfortunate for Team Sinners. 2 mistakes on the exact same spot in the identity. And I mean, you can't really blame them. Jumping up on these very, very small beams are super difficult. But I mean, my God, that is so unfortunate. And they were about 0.1, 0.2 ahead. They would have driven a mid 106
They were 3 tenths ahead of Mudda. I was going to point that out. 3 tenths out of Mudda, who got a 77. So think about that. They might have just been able to beat the world record that round if they had a clean ending. Definitely shows potential, but the scoreline is equal, and that's the thing here. You can't let a map run away from you. Even if you have all the potential in the world, if you don't capitalize on opportunities like that, the opponent team could steal it away from you. So you need to see how that rattles them, if they affected them in any way. Yes, it's a round they definitely should have won.
Yeah, here we have Kappa in the back. He's not been in the back at this point in the map as of yet, and now he needs to actually risk it a little bit more than he might be comfortable with in the ending. Tween maintains that lead, but the field is so close. It is going to be hard to see who's going to get the lead here in the ending.
See Alliance again opting for that higher speed line in the loop. That's going to pay off, but they go wider, and Tween just attacks on an inside line. Gonna get less speed before the jump. Soldier perhaps getting a bit closer. Mudda able to barely get up to first place and through that checkpoint. Tween's made another mistake, and Soldier will inherit the lead as Mudda falls off the side. That could have been another ace for them, but Tween and Kappa get away with a lucky draw.
That is huge for Sinners. I mean, this identity is giveth and this identity taketh away, because this is just unpredictable at this point.
Yeah, and it almost feels like the least predictable map we've had so far. Even though we've played Parkour, we played Agility Dash, Reps is the big killer today.
Yeah, and I mean, it is because they're going for the lowest of air times on the first jump and then going for the smallest drift onto the second beam. Like, that's why they're making a few mistakes, but it's also what is needed to get those first and second places.
Yeah, again, a strong start here from Kappa. Mudda missing the gear to get it with Tween. That's why they lost time in that segment. Between fighting back here, getting past Soldier before the drift, although having to adapt his approach, and that might give Mudda an opportunity to overtake into the uphill here. We see Mudda go for the widest drift out of all 4 players. He wants to get a more inside approach down there. That's why he sets up so wide early, and out of the loop here towards the identity. Kappa again close to world record pace, but the Alliance players are right there. Jnic, take it away. Everybody
is so close to each other. Kappa does have a tiny lead, but he cannot go slow at all. We have such a huge... Where did Mudda come from? What is that drift? Mudda just sniped everybody by 0.2 by doing the most risky line that I've seen anybody do on the map and giving Alliance a draw. He just rocketed ahead of people.
But he did that in the other round too, where he was 3 tenths behind, and you have to wonder, like, how far ahead of him do you have to be to win rounds on this identity? Because we see Kappa fall off the beam, we see Tween fall off the beam. I don't think they're doing that unforced. I think they recognize Mudda is so fast there that we have to risk ourselves. Doesn't matter if we're in first place, we have to take that risk if we're gonna win the round, because Mudda hasn't failed it that often.
No, and I mean, yeah, apparently if you're 0.2 ahead, that's not safe. That is not safe. Mudda will full risk the ending and apparently get it multiple times. And just save himself 0.3 of a second.
6-6 right now. Both teams just 4 points away from potentially winning it. And a very important round approaches here before the ending. See such a close field, impossible to call what's going to happen. But let's see what Mudda can do with the speed. We know he's fast at the identity, and he's closer than he's ever been to first going into it. 400s behind, more speed here, going to be about equal before the jump. What is he going to do here? onto the first one. More speed than everyone else. Onto the second. Drops down late and pushes it, but this time it goes wrong. Soldier able to secure a draw. 1:06.54. We mentioned his pace. He steps up to the plate and takes a new personal best and a draw.
That is a really good time. A low mid 106 is a great time, but we also got to see now both teams are in that spot where they can ace to get a map victory. And I mean, this is dangerous because even though you are on pace for getting an ace before you go into the identity, you know, it can all just turn upside down there in the end.
Yeah, that happened in the previous round, a few rounds ago, where Sinners were top 2, looking for the ace, and then they both failed. As we see Mudda now, he made a big mistake, and this, I think, is too much for him to gain 0.36. That's going to be a tough comeback, but he's surely going to send it. Although he has company, Kappa with a bigger mistake, actually. So now a lot of pressure on Tween to hold that first place and deny any alliance snipes from happening. Kappa getting past Mudda again.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking back and forth. They're trading places like it's back and forth, but we're here on reps, and Tween is in the lead. He needs to maintain this lead. They're looking to get the victory here on the map, but Soldier is trying to push. Can Tween get through this cleanly? We also need to make sure that the bottom positions are going to get it. Tween gets through it. Soldier gets through it. How does Kappa and Mudda do? Kappa with a huge mistake. Mudda will get that third place. And once again, we have another map draw, or a round draw.
We have another draw, and I remember Sinners on this map, I believe it was week 1, where they had so many draws in a row against Carmine Corp. And we're seeing a bit of the similar trend here, where Reps is just so volatile and so scary now. 8-8. That means a regular victory is enough for either team. So no mistakes can happen from this point onwards. To secure the map, they have to be clean.
Yeah, a first and a third place is enough, and Mudda, such an early, huge mistake, 2 mistakes in a row, and Mudda is gonna be out of it. And now Soldier is on the task. He has to get first place. If he doesn't get first place, that's the map victory for Team Sinners. And it's a mistake from Soldier, and both Sinners players know what is happening right now. They're gonna be about half a second ahead, and they only have the identity separating them.
But I wanna make this very clear. The hardest round to win is the one where you have to safe, where you have to try to drive a different trajectory than the one you're used to, where you have to try to release a bit, perhaps to save it. It can get very awkward very quickly. If I'm Sinners here, I might just go for the regular line I'm doing anyways, because trying to adapt it is gonna make it tricky. First jump goes their way, the second one onto the beam as well, and the third one to take their own... Whoa, that's a big respawn, but as long as he makes it, and it looks like Kappa will. So Sinners, they take reps, but not looking like an easy win there.
I just, so great for Sinners to get this map victory. I just quickly want to point out, whoa. It sounded like Toad from Mario Kart 64 when they, I mean, I cannot, somebody has to put this side by side in a clip later today. Thank you very much. Just do that for me. Thank you.
I sound like Toad, but Kappa missing that road. Let's take a look at some replays. We're starting out with that early ace from Sinners where we saw Alliance making mistakes and Sinners were looking very clean. But then look at this, the opposite happening to them where both of them clipped that first jump and Alliance pick up 3 points.
And then of course we have to take a look at Mudda's ending here where he gets the most risky drift and it works out for him. Just look at the speed he gets.
Great speed in the ending. 0.3 behind that round. This is crazy to go for.
It's just amazing to see how sometimes, you know, risky strategies, they just pay off tremendously. But of course, you can only do them every so often because, yeah, I mean, it's risky. We have a pause coming in right now.
And it is Tween saying he has something on his screen. Do you think it could be sweat?
I mean, I hope it's sweat and not anything else on his screen.
Like
what would end on your screen mid-match? What could happen?
I once, and this has been a horror of mine ever since, I once had a wasp in my headset during winter.
Yeah, you told me about this.
And I got so freaked out. I was just playing Trackmania at night, and suddenly I feel some rumbling in my headset. It was a wasp, and I got stung in my ear at like 3 a.m. And ever since, I like constantly check the ear pads of my headset. That is crazy.
I saw a video of a guy who had a spider lingering in there.
Okay, all right. Now we're just freaking out everybody. Check your
headsets right now.
I'm sure it's not a wasp. I'm sure it's not a spider. But it might be... oh, it's some settings he's saying, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. The settings menu can be scary too, though.
I mean, there's 2 settings. If you guys didn't know, there's actually multiple settings menus in the game. There's one for PC and one that is very clearly made for console. And you enter them in 2 different ways as well. Just a little bit of a fun fact about Trackmania if you didn't know.
I don't know. The only thing I'm scared of is updates.
Oh, yeah. No, we just updated your PC like yesterday, didn't we?
Nikolai comes to my house and says, yo, let's get you an IRL backpack setup. And all we really did was just update everything. I think it was an inside job.
I mean...
I think Jnic and Nikolai conspired to just update all my plugins. They still work, but if anything happens, anything goes wrong in the stream, you know who to blame.
Well, it's not even this PC, it's the other PC.
It's infectious.
Oh yeah, I forgot. When you update one thing, everything just updates with it infectiously, Wi-Fi and such. Yeah,
that's how it works.
He's saying he has a white background. I don't know what that means. Maybe he's using Tweaker without knowing.
It could be a lot of things. It could be maybe the monitor.
I mean, you would hope not that his monitor fails mid esport match. That would be very unfortunate. We can only go with what they're writing in the in-game chat. I'm just assuming that it's a setting that just went off. Maybe he accidentally pressed a keybind that did something.
Yeah, could definitely be the case. That does give all the players some time to practice here. As you can see, that's what Kappa is doing, because sometimes you get thrown onto a map, you're given that 30-second warm-up, but if you haven't played this map, for the last 5 hours, getting back to muscle memory on it can be a bit tricky. So I think this is going to be used by the players well.
Yeah, he jumped out. He might have restarted his PC now. So we're just going to wait for the PC restart. I know what we can talk about in the meantime.
Okay.
And it is this very infamous situation that happened last week. And you've been talking about whether or not we should talk about the players' average pace or their mean pace.
Their median
pace.
You have to be careful
with the terms
pace.
Yeah, it's actually different. And I mean, we can ask chat. If we say a player's median pace is this, are you 100% aware of what we're talking about? Or would you rather that we simplify it and well, if you say average is technically wrong, but
Well, I would say average is... So, median is a form of average, Like, if you talk about how much does the average person earn, you often use median because it's a better representation of the average than what mean might be. And I think the same for pace on this. If you put like mean as the average, you get wildly unpredictable times.
Median, everybody says median. Everybody in chat says median.
I'm glad we have now concluded it is called the average.
It's just maybe we can. So we can also. So my idea was that we just say a good run is sort of this pace.
I can go along with that.
Right? Because then we avoid any math terms, and then we don't have the actually people in chat.
Oh, yeah, we gotta have people without glasses on. That is the main thing. But put your glasses on if you want to watch this highly exciting match. We're on back and forth. It's picked by alliance, and the interesting thing here is that this is one of the maps that Sinners has preferred the most out of the 10 maps in the map pack. They first picked this against some teams. It's been their second pick some other matches. Their average pace here, Jnic, is pretty good.
I mean, I'm sure their average pace is decent. I'm sure their median pace is a little bit better. And I'm sure their great pace on a no-fail run is even better than that. And it does look like that is exactly what Mudda is on right now. He is 0.4 ahead of the other players. This is a really fast run. Kappa and Tween are going to try to see if they can push it and maintain this, at least this draw. But, I mean, we're going to have to see what happens.
This is a 57, and it might just be the world record here. It's set last week by Pack. Is Mudda going to beat it? Oh, 0.84
That's
though.
still crazy fast.
That's a ridiculously good run from Mudda. Anything under 58 here is a very strong round.
0.84? Is that like a TMWT record?
No. It is set by Pack, a 57.76. And Binks,
76.
And Binks
okay.
has an 80 as well. That's his best
I mean,
pace.
that is still incredibly fast here on back and forth. Yeah, I do see it.
And his
76 here by Pack. But, I mean, Mudda's pace already huge.
Yeah, and he starts out so early. It happened. It doesn't come out of anything. He builds it up. He starts with really strong lines in that first back and forth part, and then he tries to build it here. Goes very low. I might be able to save it. That was close. As often if you go low there, it ends up in a mistake. Mudda again on good pace. Refined. Just about the exact same checkpoints here. If he can deliver another 0.8, I don't know what Sinners are going to do to stop him, as I don't think they expected him to be that fast, that consistent. Mudda again looking so clean through this identity. So just made a mistake, but look at this. Mudda gonna secure another win with ease. 0.92.
I mean, a 57 is just great pace no matter what. If you get a 57, you have a high chance of getting the map victory or the round victory. So Mudda showcasing it multiple times in a row is just amazing to see. Unfortunately, Soldier has both of the times not been able to follow up quite enough, but it does result in at least round draws for Alliance.
And what might give Sinners hope here is that they can definitely beat Soldier. Soldier's best record on this is a 58.2, and they have beaten that in the past, both Kappa and Tween. So maybe if there's a round where Mudda slips up, where he makes just a small mistake, having to adapt one turn, having to release, back that up to the perfect line, that's where they can find their opening, because they're beating Soldier consistently. It's just Mudda holding the fort right now.
It is just Mudda holding the fort, and he is barely ahead. Kappa takes lead. Tween with a super unfortunate touch there, going a little bit too tight. And that's going to allow Soldier to overtake. And now Kappa, he is going to fight with Mudda to see if he can maintain this lead. But Mudda has had such fast endings. That's a clip on the corner there for Kappa. Apparently Soldier's also made a mistake.
Yeah, I was about to say this could be a win for Alliance with Soldier getting more speed than Kappa, but he failed earlier. And Mudda
still a 57
is driving 57 every round.
I mean, okay. This is great pace coming from Mudda. It is so unfortunate that Soldier has been 7-8 seconds behind consistently on these rounds.
And we talked so much about Offie's pace on this. Offie consistently driving 58 low, but here Mudda's going one step beyond that. He's consistent 57s, and he might be able to break the record today. If this goes for a few more rounds, you could see Mudda get an absolute banger time. But now, with Tween failing the start, it's also looking like Alliance can finally make a breakaway and get some more points on the board. Soldier up there in third now.
Already a great start coming in from Mudda. I am interested in his pace and his lines right now because they're just something else. He does hit a little bit of that penalty snow, but it might be on purpose to set him up for a better line there, a better no slide on the dirt. Ooh, almost clipping, but I mean, I think he just jumped as low as possible, and now he is on incredible pace again. Mudda showing how it's done.
He is, and this is quite slower than his other rounds previously, but not a slow time whatsoever. Kappa fighting for that second place. Definitely don't want to get aced, but Soldier is holding on to second place. 3 points could go Alliance's way here if they survive the final few pole turns. Kappa trying, but Soldier and Mudda strong this round, and big points for them. A 58.3 and 0.4. Nothing to scoff at either. Alliance, they make a breakthrough.
They make a breakthrough, and they're pushing away from Sinners now, doubling the points. And I mean, Alliance getting this map win could be crucial for that final map as well.
They will have to face Sinners on their own 6th choice, but the 7th map in this series is Slippery Slides, the randomly chosen one, which favors Alliance quite massively, as it's not a map that Sinners have favored in any other games really. So if it goes to 7, it could go in the favor of Alliance before that last map, but Sinners are still going to try to win the 5th. Mudda has made a mistake. They finally have a big chance here to get an ace of their own. And Soldier is only 0.2 ahead of Tween before the ending.
But we've seen Soldier make mistakes in the identity multiple times here on this map today. So we're going to have to see if he's going to do it again or if he can get into the finish without a single mess up.
And Kappa's fast here. Kappa is also on pace for a 57 of his own, and Tween with a really good line there, passing Soldier rather, barely not, as Soldier holds on by 6 thousandths of a second.
I mean, that is incredibly close, but well done from Soldier, making sure that they don't get aced right back. It is gonna be a round victory for Sinners, getting 2 points, pushing just a little bit closer to Alliance, but Alliance has put themselves in that dangerous spot where they can clutch or end the map with an ace.
But they also desperately needed a win. Tween into the wall in the start, half a second behind right off the bat. And now with Mutta fresh out on the track, equal to the rest of the field, they have a really good chance here, Alliance. Kappa showed he was on pace for 57 and took the ending a bit easily, but he could still get a great time there. Let's again see how low Mutta is willing to go on this jump. He lands perfectly at the start of the ice wall ride, and the reason they do that 360 is because it's the only way to properly get grip through that turn. Here he's catching up to Kappa, looking for first place, but Kappa still holding on strong. Set up for the identity now. Mutta hitting the booster very early. More speed for him. Favor of Alliance before the backwards part.
It has to be Team Sinners that gets first, otherwise they're looking for an ace here. Alliance, can Mutta get that? Can Soldier come back up? Oh, no! With a mistake, hitting the finish post. That is so unfortunate, but Alliance putting themselves up to 9 points, and now Sinners, they're getting pressured.
Such a close fight there for Kappa. He had every turn nailed down to perfection except for the jump into the finish triangle. That was the final hindrance there. 69, he jumps out here, and now it is so tough because no matter what Tween really does here, unless Kappa can get past both Alliance players, they take the map.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult here for Team Sinners to come back because Mutta has not showed any signs of weakness on this map, and now knowing that he's 2.5 seconds ahead of Kappa, he will. I think he will just slow down in the identity.
I think they will just ignore Tween.
Yeah, I don't think because it doesn't matter if Tween gets first at this point.
No,
as long as
they just need 1 point. They can get that with a draw. They can get that with a loss.
So
if Kappa gets past one of them, it's really a dire situation here.
Yeah, I think both Mutta and Soldier, they're fully aware, saving it, weaving through these pillars, not slow at all though. So, yeah, this is going to be a map win for Alliance, the third map win at 57.91, 1,000 separating.
Yeah, can you imagine if it would have mattered? That's how close the margins get sometimes. Luckily in a round where nothing really was at stake, it was all decided earlier on. And Alliance win their third choice as we now get ready for Sinners' final pick in this game, the 6th map, Flip of Faith, coming up. But first, some replays.
Yeah, first, let's take a look at here where Mutta gets a very, very strong 57.8. Absolutely crushing the opposition, showcasing just the pace that he has here.
And he probably was on pace to beat the world record that round. He had similar checkpoints to Pac's record. We might see it being broken later today, some fast teams coming up. And then that round where they really decided the map, the ace for Alliance, as Kappa could not keep up with Soldier's pace through the pillars.
Yeah, this is where they cemented their lead and ultimately won the map because of being able to get fourth. Those aces are so important. They're so clutch to get.
I mean, if you think about the true value of 3-0 versus 2-1,
yeah,
catching up to an ace without an ace takes 3 normal victories.
I mean, that's the thing, right?
It's so much more valuable to get first and second than first and third. 3 times more valuable, in fact. Flip of Faith, it's chosen by Sinners. This is one of the it's the most wicked map, I'd say, but also one of the trickiest to drive because of these barrel rolls that you're about to see. You have to flip up and land on the platform above, and you have to do this 2 more times later in the map.
And if there's one thing you should know about the barrel rolls is that the lower you jump, the straighter to the next landing you get, the more speed you preserve, and also the faster you can start accelerating again, but it's so risky. So we're gonna see the players risk to go for those low airtime lines, and that's what's basically gonna determine the match.
It is, and knowing your situation, you can afford to take more or less risks, all depending. Here, Kappa might have to risk the ending, whereas Mutta is gonna try to save the flip as much as he can. Here we go into the second of 3 flips. Mutta going very high. Of course, Kappa with the risk as predicted, but it will not pay off. And with Soldier passing Tween here, it could be an ace. Is Tween gonna come back? Oh, it's too far to the line. An ace for Alliance.
That's a great start here for Alliance, and it is looking rough for Sinners. As you said, it is difficult to come back from an ace. It takes 3 regular map victories or round victories to come back, or an ace, of course, for your own.
You mentioned the Toad clip that you wanted to see. You know what I want to see?
What?
I want to see that Kappa clip on Twitter, but with a bog sound right when he hits the wall. Because that was a full send and a half.
Definitely. You saw how fast he hit the wall? Like he almost just jumped straight up there.
That was full speed, and he had nothing to lose, but the 3 points did go to Alliance. So now, let's see what Sinners can do. This is their choice, and they have to win it to put us to the 7th and final map of this series. Great flip for Tween up front. Kappa losing a bit of speed in that landing. And now Tween being chased down by the Alliance players.
Yeah, we see Tween with a very strong start, but Modern Soldier are definitely not too far behind. They can still push it. Here we're going to see an inside line coming after they get the reactor boost. They want to make sure that they get a low airtime jump and then jump as low as they can here without clipping the wheels. It is so close. Risking there is worth it because you get such a better line going into the next drift. And now for the identity, will Mutta save it or will he go pretty straight? That's such a clean jump from Mutta. He might even overtake Tween again. Tween going far up right. Soldier jumping super high, but that's going to be Mutta overtaking 2 players to get that first place and Soldier getting 3rd. So Alliance gets the round win.
A pristine ending there from Mutta, showing how it is done and taking 2 more points for Alliance now. 5-1. They're looking great. And Mutta, he's one of the most consistent players on this map. Rarely crashes, and he does make it through the rounds most of the time. And I think much due in part is that he doesn't risk this first one. He just wants to survive it, goes for a bit higher of a jump than most, and make sure that he gets there. But still, you can see how close to the ground he's actually landing. It's not a lot of pixels you have to work with.
It is not a lot of pixels, but right now Alliance are looking strong. They're looking to get another ace, putting themselves to 8-1 points. Kappa and Tween need to push extremely hard right now because they want to get closer than they are right now before the identity, or they're gonna absolutely have to full send, full risk. I mean, Kappa, we've seen him. He knows how to full risk, but it is so difficult to get it done.
This is gonna be a Geronimo like no other. Kappa full speed onto the jump.
Mutta!
With a mistake, just as I say it, he gets struck by the caster's curse, a lightning, but it will then be a draw here. So Sinners escaping a very dangerous situation without much of a loss.
That's huge that Mutta made that mistake for Sinners, because that's the difference between you getting 0 points and the other team getting 3, or drawing it out for a 1-1 each. I mean, if Alliance won that, they pretty much had the map in their hands.
They really did. Sinners given a new chance at life here. They have not won a match so far in the league. We're on week 6 out of 7, and they're trying to preserve some glory here, taking down a team, maybe 2, if they can. Their performances have been strong. They've taken maps from several of the teams, 2 maps from Solary, etc., but has not resulted in a win yet. Mutta clipping the first one. But he didn't lose speed. Getting more speed than the others.
He didn't lose speed. He actually just ended up getting earlier acceleration from it. So now he's on great pace. 0.3 ahead of the rest of the teams. That's pretty lucky.
That was also just barely enough to survive. Now Sinners again in a very tough spot, but at least they're quite close to Soldier. Mutta, though, might be running away with first place if he doesn't miss that last flip. See what happens in the identity.
Yeah, we gotta see Kappa once again full risk it. Tween is getting pretty close here to Soldier. Let's see who gets the final jump. Kappa has to respawn immediately. Tween is too far behind. Is it gonna be an ace? It is gonna be an ace for Team Alliance.
Alliance, 3 more points for them. Sinners have pushed them on the other map, but here they finally make a big breakaway, and now Sinners, it's so tough. They need 3 aces in a row.
Yeah, they need 3 aces. I mean, that's gonna be difficult. I mean...
Or 2 aces and a normal win will also get them there, but it has to be in that order.
Well, no matter what, they have to be pretty fast. I mean, they just definitely have to dominate now. They have to dominate the rest of the match.
The Lions know it. They just need to get past one of the players in 1 round. That's all it is. A loss is just getting past one of the 2 drivers. So if they can do that like they're doing right now with Kappa 1 second behind, they don't need to pass Tween. They currently have the entire match in their hands.
They do. I mean, as you said, they have a second to work with. I don't think they care about Tween at this point. All they care about is not losing that second or 0.7 down to Kappa right now, and they're just gonna drive clean, safe lines all the way to the identity where they're just gonna try not to fail.
But Kappa has missed 2 of these jumps. If he's gonna hit one of them, it would have to be this one to perhaps catch up. Is it too far? Kappa going for it, but that's pretty high, and he's not gonna get any closer. It looks like Alliance has this under wraps, and they will indeed take the game against Sinners and put themselves in a great spot to go to the playoffs among the top 6 teams. Beautiful performance. Sinners also gave it a good fight, but they got defeated today.
They unfortunately got defeated. Alliance did get 2 extra map wins compared to the map losses, so that's great for them in their pursuit of getting top 6 and getting into the playoffs. Unfortunately, we will not be able to see Sinners in the playoffs, but we will be able to see them once more next week, where they will be fighting for glory. Unfortunately, not for the playoffs.
They can get that 1 win to pretty the scoreline a little bit. Let's take a look at some of the replays that define map 6 here. Kappa's risk on that identity. Almost working out, but we do see more consistent performance from Soldier and Mara.